Are you listening? Damn.
Okay.
Hey guys, Tracey Walker here for another episode of How They Did It. This is actually episode number 6, and we are privileged to have the dynamic duo. We have Dion and Nicole Sylvester. They are coming to us out of Chicago, Illinois, my hometown. Woo woo! And thank you guys so much for being on with us this episode.
Thank you for having us, Tracey. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So those of you that are watching this, maybe you've never seen any of the How They Did It episodes before. This is your first one. We want to let you know you're in for a treat. But the whole point of this video series is to share with you the successes and the people that are producing results inside of our business, Power Network, and more specifically our team, the Dream Team. All right. And so everyone that you see has at least achieved the very first rank in our company, which is called Boss. All right. You are a boss when you sponsor at least 5 people in a calendar month. All right. So you can sponsor more, but you can't sponsor less. And as long as you have 5 or more people, you are considered a boss. Likewise, Dion and Nicole are bosses, right? And we're going to talk a little bit more in a second of how they did it. So you want to stick around so they can share with you their secret strategy on how they are doing it. But first, Dion, Nicole, tell us a little bit about you, your story, where you guys come from, and how did you get started with Empower Network?
Well, thank you for having us on the platform of how you did it. We are honored to be here, first and foremost. Let everybody know, we're all 3 of us are fellow Indians. We all went to high school together, Hyde Park Career Academy. We were Indians. There's something else now, but they're not Indians. But we're Indians.
Indian, always an Indian, right?
Absolutely. Right. Absolutely. But we're originally all from Chicago. Got interested in the actual industry of network marketing when I came home from college. I was introduced to insurance, and everybody know that really, really big insurance company that's network marketing. I'm not going to say the name, but I was affiliated with that company, and I was $2,000 short of $100,000 that year that I was in it. So I had a little success with it, but even still, I only recruited 7 people to make that type of income because our regional vice president, his focus was sales. Everything was sales. You have to go out and sell your way to $100,000. So there were a lot of times where I didn't come home until 11, 12 o'clock at night. There were sometimes I had interviews where I would interview the husband, the wife wouldn't be there, interview the wife, the husband wouldn't be there. They call those jackleg presentations. Did the flip chart presentations. I did all of that. I experienced a lot of that in the industry, but I fell in love with the industry. And from there, I was married before I married my wife, and we're no longer together, obviously.
Right.
But I kind of left that desire that I had kind of fizzled out, so I left the industry for a while. And then I got started with a juice company. Tracey, you remember you and I were in rival companies. I'm not saying the names, but like that. But it was all good. It was still good because that's why I actually met you on another marketing platform. So that's where you and I kind of, had our relationship together. By that time, I moved to Florida because my wife, remember MySpace?
Yes, of course.
This was before Facebook. MySpace was really, really big. She was in Florida. I was in Chicago, but I saw her again on MySpace, and I reached out to her, rekindled, and I let her know, how I was interested in her way back then. But back then, I was a gangster. Right. I did illicit and illegal things. I'm not proud of, but hey, I did it. That's how I made it happen back then. And my baby, she was a cheerleader, so that was oil and water back then.
Honey, look, I was the pom-pom girl at Hyde Park. Listen, you were the cheerleader. Right?
So those 2 back then didn't go together, but that casket is buried. Now I don't drag that casket around with me, and I thank the Father that He allowed me to be the man that I am today, and she saw that in me, and we were able to move forward. So she invited me to come down to Florida, and I said, well, I'll come down to Florida for you, but when you get started in the company with us, invite the people to your house, because this was still home meetings and stuff. Invite the people to your house. I'll come down there. I'll do the presentation.
It was a trade-off, Nikki. It was a trade-off.
Right.
So I come down there, and if anybody is familiar with home parties, if you really like, she's from Chicago, not from Florida, so you really got to have a strong center of influence to invite 30 people to your house to get 10. Mm-hmm. So if your center of influence isn't strong and you invite 10 people, Tracey, how many people come?
Probably 2, 1.
Okay. All right. So we get to the house, get everything set up. How many people come?
0 people.
None. But that's all right. You know, I still do the presentation with her as if it was 100 people there.
That's right.
But we're no longer with that company, but we still together.
That's right.
I'm gonna let her finish telling you her side.
So that was your little plan. So,
right.
You knew wasn't no people coming to that party. You knew you were business minded, that you had it together, that you were a completely different person. And obviously she bought into that, honey, because she went on here and
You told my secret, Tracey. I got him down to Florida. But before he got there, he introduced me to that juice company. I've always been an entrepreneur. I never wanted to work for corporate America. And hey, I'm there now, but it was a reason. But when I just being self-employed since I was 19, I made my own hours. I did my own time. I was a hairstylist for 14 years. But I like to use my brain because I got a lot of stuff up there. So while I was doing that, I was also a mortgage loan processor. I found out real early I hate paperwork, but even though I did it for 6 years, but it still was something else because it didn't give me the freedom that I wanted. And so I looked for my passion, which was cooking. Anytime I was stressed out, I was in the kitchen cooking something. Mm-hmm. And so I said, what do I love to do that I can get paid for? So I ended up going to culinary school and busted my butt for 2 years. So that's how I actually ended up in Florida. Roundabout, I worked on a cruise ship in Hawaii.
Oh, wow.
And then I went to Florida. My daughter and my mother was still in Chicago. I had to drag her out of Chicago to go someplace else. So that's how I solicited him to help me. Right. Had
we all
drag
came
mom.
down together. We all drove down 19 hours, packed up the truck in the car, moved from Chicago down to Florida.
I love it. And you didn't know Mom that well at that point, did you, Dion?
No, that was my first time meeting her daughter and meeting her mother.
In the 19-hour drive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, listen, this was meant to be, honey. Okay. Nikki,
he wasn't nervous either.
That could make it or break it, right? So obviously you made it, but it could have been horrible, right? 19
right, it should have been.
Mama didn't.
I might have him off in Tennessee somewhere.
I mean, because we hadn't seen each other since we graduated from Hyde Park in 1990 until we saw each other again on Facebook. So there was a nice gap in between the time she had a child.
Yeah.
18 years.
So.
Now I'm telling my age, but 18 years.
It was divine. It was truly divine.
Oh my goodness. Well, you know what? That's a magnificent story. It goes to show a couple things for me. One, when you want something, you have to go for it, right, Dion? I mean, if you had seen Nikki on MySpace and, thought, well, she's not going to like me or whatever self-limiting beliefs you could have had that time, then this union would not be here, right? It wouldn't had you chickened out, right? So you asked for something that you wanted, and that's the premise of how we're successful in anything. Right? Because I like to say how you do anything is how you do everything.
Right.
You guys are indicative of that, right? Going after it. That's one. Then the second thing is the ability to do something new. Something new. For you to pack up and go to Florida, and then for you guys to still even come back to Chicago, stay in the industry, and then even get going in Empower Network, those are all signs of doing something new, and being okay with change. A lot of people are not okay with change. It's like, the devil the devil you don't know, right? And they'll rather stick with the devil they know, and you guys, likewise, I mean, being producers in our business, you gotta adapt. You gotta adapt. And so I admire you guys. You guys give me hope. You give me hope.
Thank you. I mean, it's an interview, but everything, of course, is in peaches and cream.
Right.
We in our struggle. When I actually started with Empower Network in January 2012. I was
started the company.
I was invited by Dave to come to the meeting in October.
Wow.
I lived in Kissimmee. It was in Orlando.
That's right. He right down the road.
I was so focused on the juice thing,
Mm.
you know, that I was closed-minded. I got to do this. This is the direction I'm taking my family. This is where we're going. So I was closed-minded. But in January, I didn't tell her, but I went and got a number, you know. So then I got the number, and I'm like, okay, I got to learn how to do this blog thing. I got to learn how to do this because I was on your list for a long time, even before then. So I was kind of, all right, I'm going to see how she's doing it. I'm going to try to market my blog after that. So I was trying to do that, and then the $500 product came,
Yeah.
and I had got the product, and I didn't, right? So then she saw the $500 come out the account. She said, "What's this? Why? What's this?" I say, "But look, you see the $350? Because I
spent $5, but we made $350.
right,
Don't they know our profit? Don't they know that?
right. So then I did the product is $1,000. We had it for $750. So I got the product and I didn't tell her. So I got that too. And she was like, look this again. I said, but look again, look, we made it back. So it's my advice to couples, don't hide planting a seed from your spouse. You know, it's very, very important. When you are going in that direction, all investment is nothing but a seed that you're planting into soil. And of course, you don't see that blade of grass come up out of the soil until a while. You're going to have to plant a lot of seeds in that soil in order for you to get a lawn. And I teach my daughter, I say, you can plant seeds in your own dirt, or you can take your check and go buy stuff, and you're planting seeds in other people's lawn. You will never see that green grass on the other side. But as long as you nurture and you take care of your investment seeds and your grass, I don't care if it takes a year, you'll start to see blades of grass start to pick up. And once you see those grass, then you'll see a flower. Then you'll see a rose. But you keep nurturing your investment. Don't hide it from your spouse. You know, your spouse want to see your beauty. Put it in front of them. And I'm glad that I did that. You know, eventually, so baby, this is the direction that we're going in, and we're going to believe together in our achievement. You want to make $150,000 a month? Mm-hmm. I want to make $150,000. A person make $150,000 a month. That's crazy. No, it's attainable.
That's right. Because there's people doing it all over the place, honey. It is not like nobody is making 150. There are athletes that make $1 million a month.
Right.
You know, so I don't understand how people sometimes feel like, oh, it's impossible or it's a scam. I mean, if baseball isn't a scam, or football isn't a scam, or basketball is a scam, why is using your brain and selling products and services to people? How is that all of a sudden now a scam? Because people can't fathom how that's done without being, you know, some type of professional athlete in that way.
Right.
So
well, all of it. On that flip side, when he started, I didn't want to hear it. I was like, okay, you go ahead and do it. I'll watch from the background. Mm-hmm. It didn't happen until this year, 2015, where Nikki and Dion went to the virtual.
The Tennessee, we did the Memphis, Tennessee.
Oh, the regional, okay.
But we did it from the computer.
Oh, you did it the live stream for national.
Right, we did it from right here where we're sitting now. Yes. She didn't.
I did. I attended my bedroom with the door closed.
She didn't attend.
And yo, right there with the live stream.
Mm-hmm. I did not want to hear it, and it wasn't until it was the all day event. It wasn't until I peeked out and listened to a couple of the stories to see what they really doing. Mm-hmm. They sound too excited. I want to hear what But it wasn't until I actually opened my door and cut my TV off. He didn't know this, and I was listening to Dave. Mm-hmm. And as we all know, Dave is a powerful speaker. He speaks straight from his heart, and I felt that. So when the time came for the next event to buy tickets, he came in and even though he knew I was not in the event all day long, and said, "Well, they got tickets to Vegas. Do you want to go? I'm going to buy the tickets." I said, "Sure, buy my ticket." He almost hit the floor, but I said, "Sure, buy my ticket." I have to see if this Dave person is really real.
Right.
After attending that first event, which was October, right?
In Vegas.
We went to Vegas.
No, July.
Earlier this year, right?
Yeah, July. We went to Vegas, and that was it for me. I was done. I said, okay, when we come back, we're going to be all in, and we're going to be VIP. And when we went to Florida, that's what happened. We got all in.
I can't both being like that.
And we went VIP. And so
events, you
they
have to go
changed
to
it.
events. You have to attend event to event to event. We made a vow. I know people don't bet, but we said we will never miss another event again.
Right. That's right. I mean, I felt the same way. I mean, I was pregnant, right? And I had just had Josiah June the 5th. And at that time, those were the regionals. In 2014, those were the regionals. One was in May. I think that was Seattle. One was June. That was New Orleans. And then one was July. That was Charlotte, right? So I hadn't missed an event from the time I joined, right? That was my vow as well. So I was pregnant, so I couldn't fly to Seattle because I was past 36 weeks, right? So I couldn't go there. Then June, I couldn't go because he was gonna be too new, right? I was just gonna be having him like that weekend, right? Then July came around and I was like, I gotta get to the event. My son was 3 weeks. He was 3 weeks old. And thank goodness it was close enough where we could drive, right? So I didn't put him on a plane because I wouldn't have been able to do that. But because we could drive, I could pack him up real good. We put him in the car, drove a few hours to Charlotte from Atlanta. He stayed in a room with his dad for the most part. I was nursing, right, every 2 hours. I just had a baby, right? But I was in Charlotte, It's the commitment. And you miss the energy, not going to those two events. I felt like I was missing something,
Right.
And it's amazing how it can inject you with, I don't know, the energy that you need to kind of keep going. Even me, right? Everybody, it's like, man, we all get inundated with life and get into these events, man, it's the lifeblood, right? It's the lifeblood.
That event actually catapulted us to make Boss in 1 week.
Okay, so let's talk about this. Okay, so let's kind of transition. So the message for couples is if you want to get your spouse involved and they are not hearing it, they are like this, let them do them, right? You still move, still do what you got to do, invite them, right? And if they can at least just hear, right? If they're just normal in any sense of the word, they will start to hear and pick up. And if you can get them to an event, and let the environment work on them. Don't force or pressure your spouse, right? So now let's talk about this because now we want to know how you did it, right? So you hit Boss in 1 week. So the thing is this, like I said at the beginning, Boss is when you sponsor at least 5 people in a calendar month, right? Yeah. But you guys hit Boss that first time in a week. And I believe it was the end of the month, right?
Yeah.
Your trip was but the third weekend in October.
Right, the 23rd.
23rd, right, of October. So you guys came back from Orlando, and in that last week, that 7-day stretch, you sponsored 5 people.
Yes.
Now, wait, how many people had you sponsored before that?
Our daughter.
No. I mean, you mean in that month or like period?
Period.
My team was me, my wife, and my daughter. Well, I got somebody from 2012 that's still in it, but that's it.
So a whole year, 2 years pretty much.
Yeah.
Nobody.
No.
Nobody, except your daughter, right?
Yes.
And then you go to this event, your wife jumps on board, you go to this event, and 5 people in 1 week.
Yes.
That is amazing. What happened? What did you do? Okay, first off, what happened at the event? Right. Well, we talked a little bit about that. Nikki, you got involved. You caught the ghost with us, right? The Empower Holy Ghost. But then, what did you guys do differently in terms of marketing? What happened?
I think it had a lot to do with the VIP periscopes because we used to catch. So we did the periscopes from the VIP section so everybody can see it. Then we put those out on Facebook and things of that nature. But we also took some of our money because both of us work 10 hours plus a day. Mm-hmm. So we don't have a lot of time. So we took our money and we invested in the solo ads.
Okay.
So with the solo ads, when we started to get the leads that started to come in, we'd send them the emails and we faithfully do 3 emails a day.
Okay.
I do one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and one in the evening. The one in the morning is just value based. I might give them some books to read, or the afternoon I'll give them a download PDF just to say thank you. And then at nighttime when they're home from work, I'll send them the presentation and the link to look at the actual business opportunity, because they're home from work now. They can do it. In the morning and afternoon, they're at work. They really don't have the time. So that's the way I psychologically do it, because I work during the day. So that's how I did it.
Okay.
But I would send the catch video for the Periscope at the end. This is the excitement. This is the fun that we're having. And from that, from the solo ads and the emails that we're sending out to our follow-up, that's how we were able to hit 5 people to get started in 1 week.
So this is all cold. These are people that you did not know. This is not friends and family.
Well, one of them was a friend.
Okay.
But she was still a friend from Facebook.
Okay.
And we sent her the catch Periscope from Facebook. And she saw that, and she told me, she's like, I've been watching you for a long time. I've been watching you, Dion, but you know what did it for me? When your wife was sitting there and I saw her excitement and she was sitting around, all of those people in the front, and I was just like, I want to do that. And I've been talking to her for months on Facebook, but when she saw my wife and her energy, she decided that she wanted to get started. So 4 cold and 1 from Facebook.
And
so,
you didn't have to do any meetings at your house?
No.
How many 3-ways did we do together?
None.
and how many meetings did you then tell those new people that they needed to do?
Like schedule somebody to come to their house type of meetings?
Yeah.
I don't even know how to fix that in my language anymore.
No.
It's like your brain was even trying to process the question. Like, wait a minute. What? Come to my house?
Last house I went to was from Chicago to Florida. No, I'm just kidding.
That's right. But here's what's interesting. Here's what's really, really cool. Belief kicked in. Right?
Absolutely.
Belief kicked in. I mean, really, really, yes, you went out there and did the action, but here's what I want people to understand from what you guys are saying. It's that until your belief kicks in, your behavior is not going to change.
Right.
Yes. Oh, that's not true. Your behavior is based on the level of your belief. So put it like that.
Absolutely.
So if you don't really believe, then your behaviors are kind of mediocre at best, right? Lackadaisical. But when your belief spikes and you know you can do this, then your behavior starts to reflect that. And then what happens is your results reflect the behavior, right? And so you talked about solo ads. I mean, anybody could go and do solo ads, right? Right at this moment. I mean, you told them exactly what you did. You went and let me ask you, how much did you spend on your solo ad? How many clicks you got?
We started with $50.
$50?
$50 was our first group of solo ads. And from that, we got 2 signups. And I was like, Now, I know it's not going to always play out like that. You know, you spend $50 and you get 2 signups. But the law of numbers is the law of numbers is the law of numbers.
Right.
So let's ramp it up a little bit. So we did that because, like I said, both of us have an income and we firmly believe in investing in ourselves and investing in our business. It's nothing for us to take some money that would have been for clothes and invest it into our business, into our leads. So let's take $200 this time and let's see what happens. So we have consistently said every time we get paid, we'll take $200 and we'll go do the solo ads and we'll do the Facebook hustle.
Okay.
And that's how we've been actually, for November, we were able to get the same results plus 2 because we still use our solo ads and we still use the Facebook hustle for the limited window that we have, but we still reach out to people.
And that's important because you guys, like you said, you're working full time. Both of you are working 10 hours. So for the person that's looking at this, that's like, listen, I don't really have any time, or I can only do it part time. Can it work for me? What would you say to those people that are working like you guys that only have a few hours? Can they do this part time?
I'm a chef, and I have about maybe 13, 15 people that I have to monitor, and I keep my cell phone with me. So in between time, if I have a minute or 2 minutes, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm sending out something. I even take pictures of the food that we're making and I send that out. So it's like people, you don't want to hit them all the time with your link.
Right.
They want to know you. They want to see what's going on. So I show them inspirational quotes, or I'll say something about that, or I'll send out my food or what I'm doing and let them know this is my passion. I'm working towards doing this full time away from corporate America so I can have that time to not only be here. I want to go to spice markets in Morocco and show you how to shop there and, you know, do things like that in other places. But I can't do that on a lock and chain, corporate America. So, you know, all the time, I don't care where I am. If I'm walking down the hallway, I'm on Facebook. If I got to go from one office to another.
Effectively, right?
Absolutely.
You're just making a decision to say, hey, I'm committed to this. And any opportunity that I have to work on my own business,
right?
Myself, my husband, and my daughter, we deserve my attention to what we want to do, right?
I wake up an hour earlier than what I normally do. I take them to work at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
And once I'm back from work, I take that early hour that I normally would have woken up. I set my alarm clock an hour earlier. And that is the time that I take for my 3 emails per day.
Okay.
And I schedule those to go out morning, afternoon, and evening.
So you write all 3 of your emails in your hour and
yes.
then just go out at different times. Got it.
Right. And then when I come home in the evening, I'm at home from 7 o'clock to 7:30 is when I get home in the evening. And like I've told myself, a millionaire's hours are from 7 to 2 in the morning. Mm-hmm. So I know I work corporate America from early up to late, but once I give and dedicate my time to my 7 to 2, now it's not 7. I don't go to sleep at 2 o'clock in the morning every night. Of course not. But I know I work on my business starting at 7 and 7:30. I may work until 9 o'clock doing a blog. Mm-hmm. And from that 7 to 9:30, I know eventually me putting in the effort, I will have the results that I want. So once my hours, full-time business hours are 7 to 2 in the morning, I'll have my 9 to 6 in the morning to do whatever it is that I want to do, live my life, enjoy myself, because my business millionaire hours are from 7 at night to 2 in the morning. So that's my goal. That's my desire. And eventually that time that I have for corporate America will be mine to do what I want to do.
Right. All right. Well, you know what? I just want to say you guys are rocking. I am so proud of you. I'm so excited. I love putting that little downline report in my back office and say, you know, who are all the bosses? And I see Dion and Nicole on there, right, as the bosses for the month and things of that sort. It's always exciting to see your teams moving forward and to see people getting results and things like that they want in their business. And so I really, really appreciate you guys. I'm so excited. Listen, guys, what we want you to do at this point is we want you to decide to lock arms with us, right? You can do this part-time. You can do this full-time. It doesn't really matter, but you have to put in some time. Dion and Nikki, they both work, so they have the ability to leverage a little bit of cash. If you don't have the cash, you have to leverage your time. One or the other, you got to pay either through your cash or through your elbow grease. Looks like we lost them for a second, but that's okay. In the meantime, guys, there is probably a link somewhere around this video, right? Whether it's underneath this video or above it if you're looking on Facebook, or whether you're on Dion and Nikki's wall or my wall or wherever it is, we want you to click on that link and lock arms with us. Get started with us today. We are looking to help create 6-figure earners in the year of 2016, okay? And we want you to get started with our 6-figure builder program, or whatever level works best for you, right? But we're really looking to grab you by the arm. We're really looking to show you the skills that you need to learn in order to be successful here. And we're really looking forward to helping you to build a business and have a life both at the same time. So I'm excited to share this particular episode with you with Dion and Nikki. Go ahead, click on the link, get started, join the dream team. We are here to help you. We are excited and we can't wait to see you on the inside. So thanks for tuning in to this episode of How They Did It, and I will see you guys in another episode. Bye for now.
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.